I want to remind you, the COVID inquiry has not even started. It has not even started properly yet. It starts in about 2 weeks' time properly, where we're meant to be hearing the first oral testimony from like David Cameron and Osborne. But in the meanwhile, this lead up to it, this whole WhatsApp message saga, just keeps on taking another turn. So yesterday, I was sort of saying I don't know whether they'll hand this over because Sunak hasn't got a leg to stand on. You've had all the legal experts come out and say, no, you can't really hold this stuff back. And a lot of people have been very clearly saying, or at least the suspect, shall we say, that they're saying, is that there's stuff in there which might bring down Sunak. Now, if that's true, that might be why Sunak is so desperate not to have these released. But we've seen Boris Johnson hand over all that stuff, saying, "No, I've handed it over to Cabinet Office. It's all in Rishi's corner now." Meanwhile, meanwhile, it turns out, according to this new fresh twist, according to Johnson, and again, according to Johnson, so pinch of salt and everything, all that, because we know how much Boris Johnson likes to tell a porky pie or two. Here is what he now claims, that apparently spies told him not to turn on his phone. So this story so far is just having so many twists and turns. And like I say, we'll keep an eye on this court case, but I don't think Rishi Sunak's going to win it. I really don't. All the legal experts, if you have a look what they've said, no, the inquiry has the right. It gets to determine what is relevant, what isn't. It has to see those documents. Sunak doesn't get to sort of censor them. He has to hand them over uncensored. Then the inquiry gets to decide. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But oh boy, things are already heating up, and we've barely even hit the starter course yet. This is like the pre-course meal already, and it's already this insane. But there you go. So before we do go get into this another twist on this entire saga, and I suspect there will be more. I suspect there will be a lot more. Please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there will be links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, as always, there is the YouTube thank you button, and of course, the Pony Club down below as well. So thank you very much to everyone who does help support the channel, even if you just click on the like and share button. As they say at Tesco, every little helps. So as always, let's crack on into this and find out what this new twist in this saga is. So this comes from The Independent with the title of "Johnson Claims Spies Told Him Not to Turn on His Phone Containing the Pre-May 2021 WhatsApp Messages." So Boris Johnson was told by security services not to turn on his personal phone after his number was publicized online, meaning his WhatsApp messages from the height of the pandemic could not be found. It has emerged. The ex-Prime Minister has kept his personal phone number that he has had for more than a decade when he entered number 10. And it was on this number that the device that the crucial messages were sent as the COVID pandemic unfolded in 2020. The Cabinet Office revealed on Thursday that in a cache of over thousands of WhatsApp messages handed over by Mr. Johnson, by Mr. Johnson's office this week, there was no content from before May of 2021. And now, in a fresh twist, Johnson has written to the COVID inquiry chair, Baroness Halnett, offering a full, unredacted WhatsApp messages from after May of 2021, as well as his 25 notebooks directly to her team, despite the government's legal action rescinding the handover. So, once again, another twist, because now, instead of going through the Cabinet Office, Johnson has gone, "Here's all my stuff," which I think leads me to really believe that there's something in there Sunak doesn't want people to see. I can't help but think, if there was nothing to see, then it would be fine. But why is he so hesitant? Why is he trying to do this legal action to sort of resist this handover when, as we said at the beginning, every legal expert has come out and said, no, you're going to lose it. We'll see what happens. So Mr. Johnson has handed over the material to the Cabinet Office on Wednesday, before the government launched its judicial review, attempting to try and block the disclosure of the unredacted messages from all key figures, including Rishi Sunak and other serving ministers. Lady Hallett's inquiry has requested the WhatsApp messages from Mr. Johnson from January 2020 onwards, hoping that they will give an insight into how he and his government responded to the virus. But in a major breach of security in May of 2021, it was reported that his number was easily searchable on the internet and on a press release of then a think tank from around 2006. Johnson was then told by security officials to turn off his device and never turn it on again in case it could be hacked by hostile actors, the eye understands. Pardon me. This means that historic messages from 2020 and early 2021 are no longer available to search, and the phone is not active. The former Prime Minister, who is still in possession of the device, has had no objection to handing over the content on the phone to the inquiry, providing security officials and technical support can be offered to the Cabinet Office to ensure that these messages can be retrieved without compromising security. Sources close to Mr. Johnson said the Cabinet Office had long been aware of the status of the phone. Cabinet Office official Ellie Nielsen, who has also tried to get the data from Mr. Johnson, said in a statement, the WhatsApp material for Mr. Johnson is being reviewed for national security sensitivities, unambiguously irrelevant material and appropriate redactions are being applied. In the material, there are no WhatsApp communications before the May of 2021. I understand that is because in April of 2021, in the light of a well-publicized security breach, Johnson implemented security advice relating to the mobile phone that he had had up until that time. In my understanding that Mr. Johnson had possession of that device, and it was a personal device. On the 31st of May, the Cabinet Office spoke to Mr. Johnson. Legal representatives asked him to check that with Mr. Johnson in possession of the phone, also to confirm with the Cabinet Office. Cabinet Office is expected to explain that if the phone could be passed to the government, it could be assessed by security experts. On the phoning of 1st of June, the Cabinet Office emailed for a chase for the response. We have not yet received a substantive response from the Cabinet Office. I understand the possession of the phone material or the store on the stowed is not in the Cabinet Office possession or control. In a letter to Lady Hallett on the evening, Mr. Johnson did offer to hand over all his material unredacted directly to inquiry team. He said, I wish to make it clear to you and you personally and to your inquiry that I'm more than happy to hand over all the relevant WhatsApp and notebooks that you have requested in unredacted forms. So this just already goes very, very interesting. The fact that Johnson's going, well, you don't need the Cabinet Office because here you go. Here's all my stuff. So, yeah, this is... there we go. This is... yeah. All we can say is interesting. Interesting times ahead, all I can say. And this inquiry has barely even started yet. It's barely even got off the floor, and we're already having this much fun just from this saga of releasing WhatsApp messages. It has been crazy, but I think if Johnson knows that maybe some of this material is going to be damaging to Sunak, well, there is the somewhat mooted potentiality of him returning. We don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, Johnson is, of course, the great returner, as they say. We'll see if that plays out or not, but who knows? This just continues to be more and more, and I don't know whether this saga will just have more twists to it, but it seems certainly like it might do. So, until then, as always, please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can help buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course, the Pony Club down below as well. So, as always, until then, we'll see you all next time.